Hello, it is Gomi, and we're back to talk about the second best division in the UFC currently. And what is that? The Bantamweight Division. But we have a problem. We have a problem with this division. And I just want to talk about it because I like talking about UFC and I like talking about the Bantamweights. The Bantamweight division, as I stated, is probably the second best division in the UFC. I put it behind the lightweight division. I just feel that the talent, the star power, the skill, and the fun fights, the just bleeds we have of the lightweight division just beats out the Bantamweight division. But that's a great thing to have because I don't feel any other division comes close. Maybe featherweight? Heavyweight's getting kind of nice, but nah. It's about the Bantamweight. The thing that everyone has been loving about the bantamweights is that they've been fighting. They've been going at it. They've been signing fight after fight after fight. And they don't mind fighting each other. But what's our problem currently? Our problem is we don't know what in God's name we are doing with this division in terms of their top 5 to 6. What are our problems? So first problem is the emergence of Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo has been horribly disrespected, and I feel he needs to get in there and get fighting. I kind of wanted to see him go up to featherweight and challenge Volkanovski, but I wanted that back when Volkanovski was going to fight TKZ, which should not have happened, to be honest with you. Oh well, he wants to go back to bantamweight, so goddamn, let him go back to bantamweight. What's our next problem? Our champion, Aljamain Sterling, wants to take a break. He wants to fight next year. You know, more power to him. If he does that, he'll be on track to fight twice a year, and that's good for most champs. Like, a lot of people loved Oliveira because how active he was. He only fought twice a year. The only champs who really have been consistently or somewhat consistently fighting multiple times a year has been Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman. Usman's not a champ anymore. But honestly, 2 fights a year, that's good enough. He wants to take a break, that's good for him. I advise against it because you get 3 title fights in a year. You get 3 chances of pay-per-view points. So Aljo, you want to start getting that bag. Especially when you have guys like Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley. You have those guys lining up for title shots. Oh, Chito Vera. And now, problem number 3. Aljo's good friend Merab. I hate how they are handling it. So, there's no problem with having friends in the same division as long as you're willing to fight them. Per example, Kamaru Usman fighting Burns. They fought. They were great friends. They're still great friends, but they fought. Aljo, I don't care if he's your best friend. Fight him. He is the number 2 ranked bantamweight. I'm looking at it. Literally, he is the number 2 ranked bantamweight. So you must fight him. I digress. Those are going to be the 3 problems that we have currently with the bantamweight division. So how are we going to solve those problems? Well, with a little bit of matchmaking. Now, is me sitting here in my chair matchmaking fights going to actually make them happen? No, but they're the goddamn fights that should happen. So, first fight we're going to be looking at is for the champion. So we'll be looking at 2 potential outcomes for him. Say he wants to wait. First outcome. He waits. His fight should be Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley would be the best fight for Aljamain Sterling of all the fights. And if he waits, that's the most likely fight for him. Because Aljamain Sterling is going to get amazing pay-per-view buys for fighting Sean O'Malley. Like, I'll tell you right now, straight up, Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling, that will be the main event. Aljo has not been the main event, only co-mains on these pay-per-views, and honestly, He's not gonna. He is not gonna be a main event unless it's Sean O'Malley. If it's Sean O'Malley, you get him in there, that is a main event. It will sell like hotcakes. But say he doesn't wait. Say he does fight on the card that they're looking at, reported by Ariel Hawani, and I made a video about it. Say he does fight on the perf card. Henry Cejudo. Still a good option for Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling's got the best options, honestly. Because, well, I will say Sean O'Malley's probably an easier fight for him. Honestly, Henry Cejudo has a good chance of being able to beat Aljamain Sterling. It's hard to say on that one. We don't know how good or in shape Henry Cejudo is. But honestly, if he fights on that perf card, it'll be against Henry Cejudo. And that's still going to be big buys. Because what's the more likely main event on the card? Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. For MMA fans, you have the number 1 ranked versus number 3 ranked pound for pound fighter in the world. And they're going to be meeting and clashing to potentially unify a double champion or solidify Islam's legacy. Hell yes, I want to be on that card. I don't give a damn who you are. You want to be on that card. But Aljo being on that card, co-main event, getting pay-per-view points, oh my God. Aljo, you're an idiot if you don't fight on the card. I'm sorry. But regardless, it's up to him to do what he wants. That's the simple thing is, the champ can do whatever the hell the champ wants. Next matchmaking, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, what are you going to be doing? Sean O'Malley's best option is to wait. To wait for the title fight. I don't want that. I don't like that. I want people to fight, but that's honestly his best option. If he waits, he's fighting Aljo. I don't like his chances of beating Aljo, though. I really don't. Aljo, I feel, will probably backpack him. He showed some pretty decent wrestling defense against Petr Yan, but he was still taken down 6 times with how many minutes of control time? Aljo, we saw what he did to Yan in the second fight, so that's not looking good for O'Malley, but it's looking good for his bank account because that's the main event. That's going to make some money. Now, what should he not do, but is very likely? Take a fight before then. Shoot around March, maybe Mayish, against Chito Vera. I've seen some people talk about making that as a main event of a fight night. Hell no. Sean O'Malley will never be on a fight night again. That's stupid for you to even suggest that. Sean O'Malley, Chito Vera, make it as the kind of basically co-main event of any other pay-per-view. It sells like hotcakes. A rematch, Sean O'Malley's only defeat. That's good. But I don't know how he handles Chito. I really don't. Like, he did so amazing against Yan, but there's just something about Chito that's violent. He's such a scary, like, he's like a dark horse of the division. He's not. There's a lot of Chito fans out there, but he just feels like a dark horse of the division to me. And he very well could be champion. I kind of low-key I don't know, man. I don't like Aljo, but like after his fight against TJ and his second fight against Yan, I don't know if anyone could beat him. I don't. Alright. Next, Merab. I don't like Merab. I'm sorry. After his whole I don't want to fight my friend and how he handled the Aldo fight, I'm not an Merab fan. But regardless, he is a top-ranked fighter. Who should he be calling out? Petr Yan. He's got to beg for that Petr Yan fight. And then adversely, Petr Yan, that's the fight he has to go for. That is the highest ranked guy that he can get a fight against. And that is the highest ranked fighter that Merab can get a fight against. That's who they want to be aiming for. Those two better be calling each other out non-stop, talking about their families, talking about their fights. That is the fight to make. When can it be? Whenever. It could be absolutely whenever. But that's the fight they need to make. Chito Vera. I kind of already alluded to it, and he's actually said it. Chito Vera needs to go for the Sean O'Malley fight. He's not top 3. He's ranked number 4, officially 5, because Aljo's technically number 1. I don't think they're going to give him a title shot, to be honest with you. They're going to look more towards Cejudo they're going to look more towards O'Malley. They're not really going to be looking at Chito. So what Chito's got to do is he needs to slide in against O'Malley. He beat him. They have beef, kind of. And that's a fight people want to see. Chito goes for that Sean O'Malley fight, and he gets that Sean O'Malley fight. He has a good chance of beating him again. And then you shut down O'Malley. You shut him down, and you steal his star power. And Chito already has some low-key star power, so that is the fight to make, Chito. That is the fight to beg for. Don't beg for it. Honestly, you just talk some smack, and I'm pretty sure Sean O'Malley will take the bait. And one last thing I want to mention is TJ Dillashaw and Corey Sandhagen. They're in a bad spot. Corey Sandhagen is coming off a win against ranked number 10. They're honestly in a bad spot. Corey Sandhagen, he already lost to TJ Dillashaw. And TJ Dillashaw, he's out for a while. He's old. He did not look good. He had an injury in his fight. He does not have favor with the fans. TJ, you need to retire. I'm sorry. TJ needs to retire. He's going to come back. And honestly, he's going to come back. I can see him fight against Piotr Jan or Marlon Vera. Why did I say Marlon? Chito. I could see him come back against one of those two and get decimated. I could absolutely see him get decimated. So he needs to retire. If he doesn't retire, oh well. Oh well. And Corey Sandhagen. Not really much who you can go for. He tries shooting for an O'Malley fight, but O'Malley's not going to take that. He's smarter than that. There's no benefit for him fighting Corey Sandhagen. I'm sorry. He has more higher profile and honestly tougher matchups ahead. Like shooting for the champ, shooting for Cejudo, shooting for Chito. He's not going to go for Corey. Corey needs to work his way back up. He lost to Dillashaw and Dillashaw's out. Chito Vera, he's going to be pressing higher matters. So he needs to fight down again. Corey needs to fight down again. Who's he going to fight down against? Cruz or Font? Cruz or Font? But neither of those wins is going to get him close to a title shot. That's the thing. He beats either of those guys, he's still going to have to try and work his way up, and we don't know how the division's going to be after that. So Corey Sandhagen is just in such a bad spot. Well, what are my matchups? What do I feel we should see? I think Aljo versus O'Malley, or Aljo versus Cejudo. Jan, you better beg for that Merab fight. O'Malley, honestly, go for the Chito fight. Go for the Chito fight. If not, try and go for that title shot. But, And then Corey's got to fight down. Put him up against Font. And TJ needs to get out of there. So that's the current state of the Bantamweight division and my matchups. Let me know what you think in the comments. And this has been Gomi. Bye-bye.
I'm coming on your ass, boy. I'm coming for that ass. What?